All right, hopefully fucking this time it'll work. I spent 25 minutes doing a recording and then this stupid thing didn't actually record my voice. Damn stupid thing. Anyway, I wanted to make this YouTube video because back in my day when we first got computers, I don't know if you know about this, Cindy, but we had Windows 95 and we had to do shit in the terminal, right? We had to do shit in the command window. I know you all have your beautiful Macs and all your fancy, you know, buttons you can click and beautiful operating systems, and you use iPhones and touchscreens. Well, back in my day, all we had was this terminal where we could write shit, and we had to do everything with writing shit. Um, but anyway, that's besides the point. Terminal is still useful for some things. Obviously, like when you're on the Linux in EC2, you don't have a graphical user interface, right? So you got to do all your shit in in this style, right? So yeah. So I'm gonna show you around a little bit. Um, so when you launch it, one of the first things we learn how to do is ls. So I don't even know what ls stands for. So whenever we want to find out what an application stands for, we can do man. So man stands for manual. So manual on ls, it tells you what it is. So ls just does list directory content. And you can read through this shit and like find out all the different options you have, and then you can use it to your advantage. So one of the things I like to do is when I list stuff out, I like to list it in long form. So I use a dash L. I passed it already, so I'm not going to go back up, but I use a dash L. And then I also want to sort by time, so I use a dash T. You only have to put the dash once, and then you can put a combination of letters together. I'll show you in a second. And then you can use R for reverse order. So I want to, so if I want to show all the directories in all the folders in this place, in the place that I am, in um, long form, I use dash L for long form and R for reverse order and T for order in time using the time, right? So it's I just call it ls dash lrt. So this way, before I only just saw the folder names or the directory names, and now I get to see a whole bunch more information like who created the directory, how big it is, and the date, and finally the name, right? So you can see here it's going in reverse order in time. So it's showing me oldest to newest. So if I left that out, if I just put LT, it should give me the other way around, right? Newest to oldest, okay? So another command we learned early on is clear because whenever you fill the screen up, you want to be able to use clear so that you can start from a brand new screen. And some commands don't have a man on it because they're too basic. Oh, even clear has a man on it. Oh, never mind. You do have a manual for clear. I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, so anyway, yeah. So let me go back to lslrt. Another command that we learned really early on is cd for change directory. So we're in a place right now where we have all these different folders or directories that we can go into. So let's go into the documents directory. All right, so now you can see that it changed. I don't even know what directory the tilde is. Maybe that's like the root directory. Um, but once I'm in documents, now you can see I'm in documents, right? Another command that we can use is called echo. So echo just writes whatever you want, whatever you write here um, to the output. It outputs it to the screen, right? And another thing we could do is if we want to output it um, to a file instead, what we can do is we can use this redirect. So instead of putting the output to the screen, we're going to redirect it and we're going to put it into a file called hello.txt. So what it's going to do is it's going to do this command first, hello. Sorry, it's going to echo these words to the screen, but then instead of putting it to the screen, it's going to use, it knows that this means to redirect it, into a file called hello.txt. I'm going to make this window a little bit bigger so that it all fits on one line. There we go. So if I hit enter here, it looks like almost nothing happened, but you can see behind in the background that in the documents folder, a brand new file was created. And inside here, you can see it says hello.txt. Now I know a text editor is really beautiful, right? Like a graphical text editor, you can use the mouse. If you have like multiple lines of writing, you can go up here, click there, delete a couple of letters. Well, if you're using the terminal, you don't get all those luxuries, right? So I'm just going to close this up. There were no changes to it, so it didn't ask me to save. Um, if we want to edit something in the terminal, we only have text-based editors, right? So the mouse really doesn't do anything for us. So there's a program called Nano that's built into Terminal that we can use, and it's called and it's a text editor. So we're going to do Nano is the program name. Then we're going to call hello.txt, and there we go. We're at a program. So if we want to do stuff in here, our mouse doesn't do anything, right? Like you can highlight things and whatever, but inside the file, it's really not doing anything. It's not moving your cursor anywhere. If to move it, you have to use the up down arrows and the side to side arrows and stuff, or enter. So if I want to add something new, I can do hello, how are you? And then if I want to exit out of here, I exit out of here. Sorry, hold on. Let me cancel that. I'll show you. So down here, there's a whole bunch of different commands you can use. The little hat thing is means control, or I think command. No, control, command. Yeah, I think it's you have control too on the Mac. So yeah, I think it's control. So it's control and then X to exit, and then Y for yes to save it, and then it'll say, do you want to write this to file name to write, and it's the same file name that you open. You can change it too if you wanted to. You could put it into a new file, right? If you wanted to, but I'm gonna keep it in the same file. Except now I can't because this stupid thing won't let me write um, periods. I don't know why, but the stupid thing won't let me write periods. So I can't do that. So I'm just gonna cancel this first, and then I'm gonna exit again, and then this time I'm just gonna save. Um, so so yeah, that's something that you can do. So whatever you do there, it'll also show up in here, right? Cool. Okay. Um, what else can we do? What else can we do? We can we can copy the file. So another command we can use is cp. So copy. So we can copy hello.txt. Let's say we want to make a copy. So this is the file we're copying, and then the new file we want to create is called hello.txt. Right? So we can do hello.txt, and you'll see it's exactly the same as the original. And then what else can we do? We can do something called makedir. So this means, so mkdir means make directory, right? Usually the names kind of have some help you kind of know what they are. But if you don't know, you can just do man followed by the command name, and it'll tell you what it is. So makedir means make directories, right? So what we want to do is we want to quit this now. So Q for quit, and once you know what you want to do, then you go, let's make a directory. So make a directory called copies. So you can see everything I'm doing here comes right up in here. So that's pretty cool. You can control things with the text instead of having to, right click new folder. Obviously that's really easy, but there are other situations where you really do want to use the terminal, right? So one other thing we can do is we can move files. So we can move a file from so right now we're in the documents directory. So we can move, so mv for move. So we can move maybe hello2.txt into our copies directory. Right? So you can see there, bam, it disappeared. Isn't that cool? What you do here is reflected there, right? And then if you want to, let's go into that directory, and then we'll see what files are in there. So you can see I created this file. I created it at 6:35 a.m. and it's hello.txt. You can also do remove rm to get rid of a file, and there you go. It's gone now, right? Um, and I think you can also so cd dot dot. So this is another one we use a lot. Cd dot dot means you go back one directory. So now we were in copies and we moved to documents, right? So I'm going to clear because I'm at the bottom of my screen, and I'm going to do ls. And I don't want this directory anymore, so I can do remove on the copies directory as well. Oh, that doesn't work. How do you remove a directory? I forgot. Remove directory Mac. Blah 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 blah. Oh, so instead of make directories, it's remove directories. Sorry, instead of just remove, it's a similar thing to um, mkdir. So make directories, we do remove directories. So we can remove copies. Yes, it's gone now, right? Bam. Nothing there, nothing left except for this file called hello.txt. Okay, so what have we done so far? We've echoed some text into a file, then we've gone into that file with Nano to edit it, and we've created a directory. We've done copy, move, remove, so all cool stuff that we can do with terminal. Oh yeah, okay. So here's something else we can do. We can even open applications. So applications on a Mac are inside this folder called applications, and um, if you go into more info, it's called so the actual file is called, it's hard to see here, but calculator.app, right? So if we want to open a file, I mean, if we want to open an application called calculator, we give it the directory that it's in. So it's in the applications directory. We're saying open. So open is the command, applications directory, and then the app is called calculator.app. And there you go, bam. You can use your terminal to open the calculator. Why is that useful? It's probably not when you're just using your MacBook. You could probably just double click on your calculator down here and it launches it. But when you're writing scripts, right, you can make it so that it opens a bunch of things for you and you're ready to use as soon as your computer starts up. So for example, on a server, you might want the web server to pop up. As soon as the server comes online, you want the web server to come up on too. And in a web server, you might not even have a graphical user interface, right? So you have to do everything in the command line. Oh, so speaking about scripts, let's write a little script for myself, okay? Um, let's say as soon as I run this script, I wanted to open the calculator and I wanted to open up Safari, right? So that I'm ready to do my homework. As soon as I get on the computer and I run the script, I open up calculator and I open up Safari. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write a script and I'm going to call it launch. So I'm not going to use Nano because I can't get stupid periods, but there's another text editor called Vim. So you can use Vim as well if you like. It's a little bit harder to use than Nano, but because I can't get stupid periods in Nano, I have to use this. So let's say, oh, and so what you can do inside of script. So the other thing is I called this file .sh. So this tells terminal that this isn't just a regular text file. Now it's called a shell file, or it knows that this is gonna have commands in it for it to execute. So so I'm going to start typing in here. So exactly the same commands you would type out in terminal, you can write out here and it'll run it one after another. So I can say something like, hello, this is my first script, or let me say, um, my my script is running now, right? Just to know that it started. So and then I can write like open forward slash applications slash calculator dot app, and then I can also do open applications slash safari dot app, and then I can do echo my script has finished all of its wonderful work. All right, so I'm done with this now, and then um, I have to exit it. Okay, so now if I look in my directory, I have this new file called launch.sh. Now, in order to run a script, you do dot forward slash and then the script name. Oh, okay. So actually, it won't let me. So far it says that permission is denied. So what does that mean? It means that I don't have permission in order to execute this script. So usually we have, when we look at a file. So normally you won't notice this, right? Because like when you're just using files inside a document, I mean, you just create a file, you can read it, you can write it, you can delete it, you can do whatever you want, right? So you don't really notice things like permissions, right? But later on, when you're creating a server and creating files and applications and stuff, you're gonna want to start restricting things. So um, this is something I know a little bit about from my history, but the way you can read this is the first three letters here are for the permissions for the person that created the file. So R means they have the permission to read it, they have the permission to write it, and they have no other permissions in that. So this last spot would be an X. So X would stand for execute, and if they have that permission, then they could do something like this. They could run, they can use the script and they can execute the script. So the next set of permissions are for other users that are in the same group as you. So if you have a developers group where you're part of one of the developers, then maybe if you create a file, they also have the permission to read it. And then the last one is for everyone else that has access to those files. They have only read access to those files. So in this case, I want to add a permission called execute on this launch file, right? In order for me to run it. So there's a command called chmod. I don't know what it stands for. So let's do man chmod. chmod. So this means change file modes or access control list. So that's all I wanted to know. So if I do Q for quit, that's basically what it's going to do. It's going to help me add permissions to my file. So I know that I need an X here, right? So you can read more about this in the manual, but if you want to add execute permissions to the file, you do plus X, and then you can go to launch.sh. So what I'm doing is I'm changing the modes on my file. I'm adding the execute permission on my launch.sh script, right? So if I hit enter, looks like nothing happened, but I go ls-lrt and wham, now you can see there's X's. So the bad thing is it gives execute permission to not just me, but also to other people in my group and also to all other people. So normally you don't want to do that, but at this point I don't care because I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. So yeah, as long as this works, that's all that matters. Bam! See, I launched, my script echoed what it needed to say. It launched two windows for me, Safari and the calculator. So yeah, so all cool things. And the nice thing is, if you know terminal here, when you go inside ECC, and that's a Linux environment, it's very similar stuff, right? So make directory, copy, clear, change modes, change, I don't know, whatever it is, a whole bunch of that stuff. It's very similar across the systems, right? The commands are the same. So once you learn how to do it here, you'll be able to do it on Linux systems. Unfortunately, on the Mac, I mean on a Windows machine, if you're going to use the terminal again, or they call it the command prompt on Windows, it's different there. So that's annoying, and you have to learn some more commands. But it works the same kind of way, right? What else is cool? Oh, if you use the up and down directory, up and down arrows, you can repeat a command that you did before. So let's say I don't want to type out ls-lrt again. Um, I can just do the up arrow to find the command that I entered previously, and then I can use that to clear. Um, yeah. So yeah, I showed you how to write scripts. I think that's it. Obviously, this has probably been way too slow for you. You probably watched this at 3 speed, but hopefully you learned something, and hopefully it was useful to you. This is my second time recording this damn thing, by the way. Stupid share X. Oh, you better be recording right now. I'm gonna freaking flip. Ah, thank goodness.